The first time the Alien Cubs encountered Earth food, they thought it was a weapon. To be fair, the bright orange-red mash bubbling in a steel pan did look suspicious. It steamed like a geothermal vent, crackled like reactor coolant, and the human cook kept adding powders from tiny jars, with labels like chaat masala and red chili powder, which sounded dangerously scientific. Captain Arjun Rao of the Terran exploration vessel Suryanatra merely smiled. "Relax," he said to the nervous scientific delegation. "It's just Pav Bhaji." The Alien Cub's small, fluffy, six-eyed bundles of curiosity peeked over the edge of the counter. Their fur shifted colors, a sign of emotional overload. "What is Pav?" chirped Cub Unit Crick, whose translator struggled with excitement. Arjun placed soft buttered buns on a plate. "Bread and Bhaji?" asked another cub, Ploop, who was already leaning dangerously close to the pan. "Vegetables," Arjun said. "Cooked until they surrender completely," the cubs gasped in awe. Zrillians were famous across the Galactic Union for their cautiousness. Their species had survived 1,000 ecological disasters, and their cultural motto was, observe, test, wait 5 years. Then maybe touch. Humans, on the other hand, were famous for eating first and asking questions later. The Zrillian delegation had come to study Terran reckless adaptability, and the cubs had been allowed on board the Suryanatra as part of an interspecies education program. No one expected them to discover Pav Bhaji. Dr. Velf, the Zrillian biologist, watched in horror as Arjun scooped a spoonful of Bhaji onto a bun, added a slab of butter, and squeezed lemon on top. "That is a reckless combination of lipids and acids," Velf muttered. Arjun handed the plate to Crick. "Try it." The cub hesitated, scanning for toxins, corrosives, and micro-explosives. Then, bravely, he took a tiny bite. His fur exploded into a rainbow. Crick froze, eyes wide. Ploop nudged him. "Is it fatal?" Crick swallowed slowly. "If so, I request immediate repetition." The cub let out a high-pitched trill that translated roughly to, "This is emotionally overwhelming," Arjun laughed. "Told you." Soon, the other cubs crowded around. Bhaji was spooned onto buns at record speed. Butter disappeared at alarming rates. One cub dipped the bun directly into the pan. Another used both hands, face first. Dr. Velf stared in disbelief. Zrillians have never voluntarily consumed mashed plant matter mixed with spices. "Spices are just controlled chaos," Arjun said. Word spread quickly. The Galactic Cultural Exchange Network flagged Pav Bhaji as a potentially addictive Terran cultural artifact. Ambassadors from 12 species arrived to observe. The Volcarians, amphibious and proud, declared it insufficiently slimy. The Naxi, crystalline beings, refused to eat anything without a hardness rating. The Throlians tried to dissolve it in acid and were disappointed when it just tasted better. But the Alien Cubs? They declared Pav Bhaji a species-level comfort food. Within weeks, Alien adults were quietly requesting recipes. Within months, entire Alien cities had street stalls. The Galactic Council held an emergency meeting. Chairman Glax of the Union slammed 3 tentacles on the podium. "This dish has altered Alien culture in less than 1 Terran month. They have developed something called street food culture. This is unprecedented." A human delegate shrugged. "Wait until they discover chat," the council screamed internally. Scientists later discovered why Pav Bhaji affected Zrillians so strongly. 1. Their neural pleasure receptors reacted to spice mixtures exponentially. 2. Their evolutionary history made mashed, nutrient-dense foods extremely comforting. 3. Butter triggered a primal abundance instinct, signaling safety and prosperity. In short, Pav Bhaji told their brains, "You are safe. You are fed." Civilization is working. Humans had accidentally hacked alien psychology with street food. Back on the Suryanatra, Crick sat on the counter, belly full for glowing gold. "Captain Arjun," he said seriously, "I wish to declare Pav Bhaji a sacred cultural artifact." Arjun raised an eyebrow. "Sacred?" "Yes, it must be protected, shared, and eaten during times of emotional distress." Ploop nodded solemnly. "Also during boredom, And celebrations? And Tuesdays? Dr. Velth sighed. Our people will never be the same. Arjun smiled. That's what first contact is for. A month later, during a crisis on a distant frontier station, morale among Zrillian refugees collapsed. Supplies were low. Spirits lower. A human relief crew arrived with cargo containers full of vegetables, spices, butter, and bread. They cooked Pav Bhaji in massive vats. The Zrillians gathered, cubs and adults alike. They ate. They laughed. Their fur glowed brighter than any artificial light. For the first time since the crisis, they felt warmth. Later, a Zrillian elder addressed the Galactic Union. Humans do not merely travel the stars. They bring comfort with them. Their weapons are stories, songs, and mashed vegetables with butter. The Union officially classified Pav Bhaji as Terran Emotional Support Cuisine. Years later, Quick grew up to become a galactic culinary ambassador. He opened the first interspecies restaurant, Chaos Masala. His signature dish? Zrillian-style Pav Bhaji served with floating buns for zero gravity. He wrote in his memoir, "The first time I tasted Pav Bhaji, I learned something important about humans. They are not afraid to mix everything together and see what happens. Sometimes chaos becomes comfort. And sometimes comfort changes the galaxy."